Welcome back in the real way. Let's build. Okay. I came up with this thing a while ago, and those close to me probably already heard it, but I'm gonna share it with y'all, right? So a couple years ago, my cousin Sheezy, shout out Sheezy, she used to always say, she had this phrase. She would say, "Yo, I'm looking for my tribe. I'm just trying to build my tribe, right?" And that shit rung true to me. Like, damn, like your cipher, your close proximity. You know what I mean? The people who not are not only on the same page as you, but are complementing your talents and your strengths, and are building towards the same general direction that you're going to. So as time went on, the term tribe started to manifest in me as more like a feeling. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is I was talking to this lady, and you know entertaining the idea of like dating or whatever, and she kept asking me what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? And I'm the type of person, like, I'm not gonna I, I, I'm not gonna tell you what I'm trying to buy so you can try to sell it to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather it be organic. Like, you be yourself, and if that's what I'm into and that's what I'm feeling, then you know what I mean. I'll make that known. But I don't want you. I don't want to say. I want to. I don't know, a gymnast, and you're like, yeah, well, I started, doing cartwheels yesterday. Like, nah, you know what I mean? Let's not do it like that. Like, we're adults, you know what I'm saying? You are who you are at this point. You don't like what you don't like. Like, you don't have to sell me shit, you know what I'm saying? No matter, either way. So when she asked me that, like, what you looking for? And excuse me, I might be eating. But she was like, when she asked me, like, what am I looking for? I I told her I'm looking for a home, right? Kind of fucked her up. She like, well, I think I know what you mean. You're looking for comfortability, and no, I'm looking for a home. And for those who know what I'm talking about, know what I'm talking about. Like, I've been in my own residence where I pay the bills, I have all the freedom and all that shit, and didn't feel like I was home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking for a home. I'm looking for a home. You know what I mean? So I left it at that. But I fuck with words. For those people who know me, like, I play with words. You know what I mean? My mind is always breaking down and reconstructing, and finding, bilateral, trilateral roots and all kind of shit like that. And I looked at the word home in the mind, and I realized the root word is om, like like when people meditate. So then I started thinking about that. I'm like, all right, well, you got the tone, which is really a note. Tone and note, if you peep that, they got the same letters. You got tone, and you got, which is a note. That's a note. So the root word of home is based, or I should say, home itself is centered around a feeling. It's centered around a being in tune. It's centered around a frequency. Everybody being on the right note. You know what I'm saying? Or the person in the place being on the right note, on the right tone, on the right rhythm. Peep rhythm, right? So then I looked at the word rhythm. When you split the word rhythm into two pieces, you have right, RHYT, and yet again. That tone is present. The right, that's how we know what's on rhythm, because they got to be on the right, the right note, the right measure, the right tone. You feel me? Following me? So I'm like, damn, home again. And not to mention the HM from the is now representing the OM from home, showing you like where home is. Like, home is on the one. Home is on the one. some shit like that, like on some James Brown shit. You know what I mean? Take it from the top. When they say take it from the top, that's home. You know what I mean? So that we can all be on the same, on the right, on the own. So, all right. Then I started thinking about that. I'm like, damn, so it's all about being in tune. Then it took me to a third place. I'm like, when they say home is where the heart is, right? Now, I've been entertaining this idea for a while. It was presented to me by another guy that I used to, I actually caught his book, the guy Emblem, when he had presented the concept of the third ear, right? And over the years, it started evolving a little bit, the concept of the third ear. Like, you know, you hear people say the third eye is supposed to be the mind, you know, or the pituitary gland, or whatever what people want to consider to be the third eye. But then you have the third ear, which is the heart. You know what I'm saying? Which is actually the first ear, if you think about it, because the root word of heart is ear. And that's where we get our initial rhythm from, the heartbeat. Because if any of you have children, you already know the only way to identify if the child is actually present outside of like the confirmation of a woman being pregnant. Like she can piss on a stick and find the hormone, you know, but that could be false. But when she actually goes to a physician and they search for their heartbeat, that little flicker, you know what I mean? That rhythm, their own, that's how you know there's something in there. And from the energy that's created by their heart, the rest of the body is created. You know what I'm saying? Even the brain. So all this time we walking around thinking, you know, your brain is shooting the messages throughout your body. But before they hit the brain, they got to come from the heart in a more pure form, which is that energy, which is the energetic form, before it turns into anything else. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when you mail a letter. Before it's a letter, it's just a piece of paper. Where'd the paper come from? That type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's the currency that the information rides on. So then you got the heart. Okay, so we're dealing with the heart. Ear is the root word of heart. So presently, you already know the ear is dealing with vibration, drum, all that. Like it's present in the function. Then the rhythm, again, from your heart, pumping blood or whatever, is what creates the quote unquote music that you live to. You know what I'm saying? So the actual phrase like home is where the heart is like, it's telling you like you'll find yourself where you are most in tune, or you'll find comfort being in tune with things, which means it's almost like a key to take things back to nature. Because the more complicated and the more convoluted we make our lives, the less desirable, the less fulfilling they seem to be. So now you see, now the trend is everybody seems to be taking it back to nature. And, you know, I think that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And it's dope because it shows nature can't be stopped. And what I mean by that is like, it's like the rose that grew from concrete. Like, we're not being told these things. This shit is sprouting up naturally through our, like, I guess maybe blood memory or DNA or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way we started putting tattoos and shit on our face. And the generation prior was like, what the fuck is they doing? But when you look through history, we always tatted up our faces and shit like that. Like, it's just a natural thing. Like, so you see, we're slowly but surely we're coming back to our original selves again. It's interesting to watch. You know what I mean? So like, I can be in a place where I've never been before, but if I'm there with a person or a specific person, you know, it'll feel like home still. So like, that goes to show you that like there's really nothing to be afraid of, so to speak. Like, I'll give you another perfect example. when I went overseas to well, not very overseas, but went on vacation to like someplace like DR, just being around the water, I felt like home. I was by myself. You know what I'm saying? In that particular moment, and it felt like home. It felt like I didn't want or need for anything else. Like shit like that, man. I think shit like that is important. It's communicative on a very important level. It needs to be explored even more. So I got people I'm super close to that are, my tribe, that I feel like home. We speak our own language. And then I have, sometimes there's places, sometimes there's just uneasiness within myself. And I have to find my center and one myself. And in those moments, I might like just sit and do like a breathing exercise or some shit like that. Or I might reach out to somebody, one of my little bros, maybe my little bro Jordan, or one of my best friends, maybe my ex-wife, some shit like that. Like somebody who speaks the same language that I speak. You know what I'm saying? And just siphon off some of that energy that I'm feeling, and bounce that shit back off of them. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a circuitous relationship where it's not just one person providing the energy one particular way. Like they know how to feed me, I know how to feed them back. You know what I'm saying? So like, with that said, in those moments when I can't reach them, because life be lifing, that's when I came up with the concept of sharing this shit with y'all. Like, damn, maybe it's bigger than my tribe. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm coming up with these theories and these realizations, like, damn, home is really the own, and then the rhythm is the right and being in tune. So we gotta strive to be in tune. Like even with the word atonement. Like I remember in a couple years ago, back in maybe like the late '90s. Matter of fact, it might have been around the Million Man March. Farrakhan, where he was beating the drum on atonement. He kept saying atonement. Yeah, I mean it was a reoccurring phrase over and over again. I'm like, atonement, atone. At one meant usually is dealing with like foundational type shit, cement. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I kind of process shit. So at one foundation with one's foundation, like, so are we all on the same page? You know what I mean? I'll go through it that way, and then I'll actually go through the actual physical etymology and find out the Latin roots and shit like that. But when it's sitting there for you, yeah, I mean, you kind of gotta take it for what it is. Like when I came up, that shit, the home, the own, because before, I ain't gonna lie, I used to make a joke. I used to be like, can't spell home without a hoe. You know what I'm saying? But when I actually started being serious about it, and I'm looking at the core, the root, you know what I'm saying? That's when it started, actually showing me something more productive and actually dope. So I'm like, damn, so the home, you got Om in the center of home, you got ear in the center of heart. I mean, atonement, like it's telling us to be in tune. The words is inherent. You know what I'm saying? Showing you the pathway into the shit that we need to be doing. And that's not to say, whatever you're doing is wrong. I'm just saying, for me, that's how I find the right notes sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And my path of finding the right notes seems to have been confirmed in those particular words having a seemingly uncanny connection. I don't know, it made me feel like I was on the right track. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. I think that might be it. But if I can think of something else, I'll I'll definitely share it with y'all. But in the meantime, man, chew that up, man. Hopefully it helps. So, whatever, man. That's, shit. We in this shit together. So, yeah. In a real way, peace.